Good night. Next news. Opinion: Republicans may go nuclear to end the shutdown. The Hill. Senate Republicans are considering ending the filibuster to end the government shutdown, which would have devastating and permanent consequences for the country. Below are your comments. Even if they funded the government tomorrow, they still would need to pass legislation to continue HEACA subsidies. The Senate's nuclear option won't fix this problem because the GOP House is more deeply divided over extending the subsidies. So one way or another, Republicans will need Democratic votes, or people's healthcare premiums will spike. It's never a good idea to spurn the very people you will need to make a deal with in order to save our bacon. Republicans could try pointing the finger at Democrats, but it's a really bad look if you've just led the nuclear option and your party still can't govern. They won't employ the nuclear option for one simple reason, and that was stated in paragraph 1. Trump doesn't want an end to the shutdown. Having Congress suspended indefinitely serves him just fine. The GOP can pretend to want an end to the shutdown, but at the long run, notwithstanding some pain to their constituents, it serves their agenda as well. This will become the longest shutdown in history, and all over healthcare subsidies. If Hawley isn't willing to see kids go hungry, why isn't he funding school lunches? If he doesn't want kids to suffer, why are they taking healthcare away from millions? The irony is galactic in scope and scale. Removing the filibuster will be great for Democrats. They don't ever get anything passed because of it. Republicans don't care about much of anything other than cutting taxes, which they can do without having to worry about the filibuster, so its impact is very one-sided. So how do we avert the disaster? We need a Hail Mary play from bipartisan leaders of courage and conviction. To have bipartisan leaders of courage and conviction, we have to have politicians of courage and conviction. Regrettably, I have seen nothing of that sort in this Congress. Plenty of bluster and grandstanding, but little of the quiet courage and spirit of cooperation and compromise that a true government of free people must have. Elections have consequences. Since the Republicans are in charge of the government, then it is their responsibility to keep it up. MAGA repubs have done it twice this year. Once to pass the huge taco spending bill called the Big Beautiful Betrayal, extending tax cuts for billionaires and beefing up ICE, and a second time to confirm all of Taco's nominees, despite lack of vetting or objections from Dems. Release the Epstein files. Harry Reid dropped the filibuster for judges in 2013. This is how Trump appointed and got confirmed 3 SCOTUS justices. Regardless of your personal politics, this is and always has been a bad idea. It's a two-edged sword for the GOP senators. On one hand, they can have the funds and tax cuts they want that are in the bill. On the other hand, they own it 100%. They can't blame Democrats when the economy tanks and goes into stagflation. Ending the filibuster in the Senate would be the same mistake the Democrats made in the selection of Supreme Court justices. Think about how that hurt liberals for generations to come. Go ahead, the whole country will know the Republicans ended the filibuster to raise prices on their healthcare. That won't play well next November. Both sides. Country first over party. Congress has been a cesspool for way too long. Both sides are wrong. Open up the government, reform healthcare, and start working for the American people. This would not be an issue if someone had more a plan and not a concept of a plan. Here we go. Remember when Democrats were threatening to do this and Republicans were screaming about abuse of power? Point is, folks, both sides do the exact same things. The ones who really suffer are the average citizens. They had the option forever, they won't because reopening the government means dealing with the Epstein files. Won't happen. If it did, then Republicans would solely own millions of Americans either losing their healthcare or seeing their health insurance premiums skyrocket. Open it up. Let Republicans end ACA, Social Security, Medicaid and Medicare. They will lose elections for the next 3 decades. Will the GOP ever get around to the nuclear option to feed the poor and pay the workers? The DC elites who are holding up the action have more than enough bread on the table. If we had a competent president, we would not be in this situation. It really is as simple as that. Faye Lons should not be allowed to run for president. It's hard to believe the country I grew up in is T.S. dumb. Except that MAGA has no intention of compromising. They definitely do see this as an all-or-nothing situation. The fact that Moses Mike refuses to call the House into session makes that obvious. That would be a dumb move. When the Democrats went nuclear to jam through some of Obama's judicial nominees, it ended up giving Trump 3 Supreme Court appointments that the Democrats were powerless to block. Now is the time to think about future impacts when the Democrats come back to power. The one word that MAGA is looking at now is desperation. The MAGA knows they are all on the wrong side of this mess they created. They are for taking away health and medical care for 95% of the population, ending food subsidies are keeping people fed while eliminating the need for increased crime rates directly resulting from people going hungry or trying to stay out of financial bankruptcy due to. At the end of this, if they don't work with Dems on the AHC and substance programs by actually governing and cleaning up the mess the MAGA and Trump created, people will be suffering. In Trump terminology, BIGLY. And they will be looking for new jobs. This article is fiction. It would take 51 Republican votes to change the Senate rule. Ending the filibuster would not find that many votes. The filibuster rule, while not a part of the Constitution, is a good part of our congressional methods. The Democrats tried to end the filibuster during the Biden administration. Senators Manchin and Sinema kept that from happening. Numerous Republican senators would keep that from happening this time around. Nope to continuing to prop up the ACA while giving working taxpayer monies to the insurance companies, which will only continue to jack up premiums 'cause they can. This would actually hurt Republicans next November. Thinking face taxpayers pay for Congress healthcare insurance, but they don't want to pass a law to make affordable healthcare to the taxpayers. America always does better under Democrat leadership. I'm an independent voter. This is on the Republicans. If they call everybody back to DC, and the Democrats wouldn't negotiate, then it'd be on the Democrats. But right now, all things considered, this is a Republican mess. They have the power, they have all branches of the government, and so it's on them. What do we need? We need some Republican senators for whom negotiating is something besides my way or the highway and a take-it-or-nothing attitude, which is what the Clean CR represents. We need Republican senators who will negotiate now for the ACA subsidies because between Trump and the current Republican leadership, no Democrat will trust them to negotiate later with any kind of good faith. Trump and Republicans have squandered all that former good faith trust, so Democrats are staying firm. End the filibuster will have lasting consequences. As a thought experiment, imagine Joe Biden with that in his pocket. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you like it, please thumbs up.